cares at home. Do your 2 step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress free, leave your cares at home. Leave your cares at home.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, everyone. It is once again a Tuesday night. It is 8:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do you know where your kids are, family? Do you know where your kids are, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully they're somewhere after eating a nice, delicious meal of meat. And I've got my friend, my brother, Mr. Rick Charger Mopar is in the building with us. What's going on there, Rick?
You know, fellow Floridian dealing with the heat, with regular problems. Nothing exciting. And no iguanas.
Yes, and speaking of the heat, we got Dr. Nelson Vasquez with us tonight, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, hello. And I see something new. I see somebody is streaming to their channel. Look at that. I think that's the first time Doc V has been doing such things. So that's wonderful. I love that. Good for you, man. Getting up and running. And
that's because I'm here from the beginning. Otherwise, when I come halfway,
Oh, who cares, man? Put it on there and let folks see you and let folks see all of us here. We're here every Tuesday night. I can't imagine anybody that want to, be on when you're not on. But there might be one person. There might be one person that might want to. Good to see you. Always good to see you, Doc. And I'll tell you that another thing I'm excited about is my dad is coming in town this week, Thursday. He'll be here, I think, until next Tuesday or Wednesday. I have to look at the itinerary. And I'm trying to figure out a way to get you together so I can sick you on him.
Let's get together. I mean, I live 2 hours from you?
Absolutely. We'll figure out. I'll get with you. I'll get with you for sure. But maybe we can meet
San Agustin in the middle.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Something. Do they have a Brazilian steakhouse in St. Augustine?
I don't know. We can check it out.
Yeah, we'll find one.
My wife wouldn't mind going to St. Augustine next week.
Hey, listen, absolutely, man. Yeah, I love to meet Mama Vasquez there. Although she probably doesn't want to meet me after last week. She probably does. Yeah. See, I don't blame you for putting it on mute. Yeah, this is the dummy that was last week. Yeah, I understand. Anyway, but yeah, good to see you, Doc, as always, man. Glad you're hanging out with us. And glad everybody's hanging out with us here on a Tuesday night. Before we get started, I have an important announcement to make. After further review and consideration and study, I have decided to go vegan. I'm going to try that for I can't even get it out. I can't even get it out.
Today, I was at a Humanity Zoom call that, Lynn and Carrie and Adam and a bunch of people there. And the first moment I spoke, I said, I just listened to the news and RFK has announced he's going completely vegan.
Yeah.
I didn't fool them. They knew.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, hey, listen, you gotta wake up early in the morning to trick these ketogenic people, man. Our minds are strong. See, our minds are strong, we're clear, we don't have brain fog, we don't have all that sugar water going through our veins and all that stuff, man. You can't trick us.
I guess another one you could use is Rick has decided to go iguana free.
Well, I have been, but it wasn't by choice.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The iguanas have always been free for him. I don't know what.
Listen, take a vacation to Puerto Rico. You'll get enough of them.
Yeah, he's never paid for any of them. He's always been free iguana. As
They
always,
were.
you guys know if you want to join us, the link is in the chat. You can come in, hang out with us. If not, we'll sit here and talk amongst ourselves and do what we do. You may even have a question for the good doctor tonight. If you got a question for our friend Dr. Nelson, he is here and he has got answers if you have got questions. So as always, you're welcome
If I
there.
don't, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, listen, if he doesn't know the answer, he'll make up something. He's a natural born liar, ladies and gentlemen. He can, buddy, he can, hey, a lie is as good as the truth if somebody believes it. I don't know where I heard that before. No, nothing but truth here. Nothing but truth and honesty. We keep it all the way real. We want you to know what is what. See who we got here in the building. Carnivore Keith. My man, Carnivore Keith is here. Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here. Hey, our friend Pete is in the building. Papa Carnivore is here. Good to see you, my man. He is still chawing down on he got a lifetime supply worth of fat from the butcher. He'll be eating that until 2037 for $1. Oh, so yes, that is awesome. Retired Rick. We got a couple of Ricks in the house there. Retired Rick says, quack, quack. Good to see you, brother. Glad you are here with us tonight on a Tuesday where we talk about nothing. We talk about everything. We're just here to have fun, fellowship, hang around our fellow ketogenic family. And even if you're not ketogenic, this is exactly where you need to be. Come on in, learn about this life. Man, it will change your life for the better. And we're excited about it. I was watching something on the internet. Actually, I think it was Dr. Westman, and he had some RFK clips and stuff on there. And so, yeah, it's starting to, he's starting to heat up a little bit. And I saw where some people resigned from the FDA and that kind of stuff over some vaccine, some disgruntled people on that. So, I don't know, man. Looks like he's, I don't know what. You were kind of skeptical last time I talked to you, Doc, about what changes may come and that. What do
Well,
you think about some of the
I'm
recent news?
skeptical about the end result being significant. I know they're trying. There's a lot. At least, I think now we can openly discuss it.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful they're trying to. It's not to eliminate one side or the other. It's just basically science is not a static thing. It's not a never-changing thing.
Yeah.
You have to question the science to be able to have the science. Otherwise, what are we doing? I mean, we can talk about certain things.
It's very, very tough. Especially if you're a person like me. I'm a very decisive kind of person. When I say, hey, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I've listened to this side, that side. I've considered everything. I'm doing this. This is what it is. A lot of people aren't built that way. And man, there is so much on both sides. Again, trying to, getting ready for the show a little bit. I was trying to find a tidbit of something. Mostly this show is just to have fun and laugh and socialize with one another. But I do like to put a little bit of information in there as well for people. And I tell you, I was watching Gundry, who is a popular doctor who is not really anti-ketogenic living, but he was on a rant about the carnivore diet being great short term, but not good long term. And he went down this list of scientific things and that, over my head, certainly a little bit or a lot. And I'm just thinking, how difficult it is for people with so many different, people pulling them in different directions with information.
I'll tell you. What is long term?
Yeah, he didn't specify, but and he didn't talk about cholesterol exactly. Um, I can't remember exactly. It was some type of sugar molecules that bind to, long term, and I don't know. It was a little scientific, but basically he
He
said that it's a great elimination diet for a short term, but if you're gonna doing it long term will have significant health impacts on people. I hear
he
you.
he is keto, by the way. He is keto.
Yeah,
He's a low carb believer,
yeah,
but and the first heart transplant into a baboon, which was done in Loma Linda, it was Dr. Gundry. He's not Seventh Day Adventist, but
right.
he was with the Loma Linda hospitals, uh,
Yeah.
and he's got his lane also. Always remember the source, like Dr. Westman says. Uh, Dr. Gundry has a lot of things to sell.
Oh yes, yes. I'm gonna tell you
So
something. He's when I very first kind of got into this life a couple years ago. Just started looking for information. There were a few people, and I won't mention them by name, but everybody knows who they are because they're everywhere. And I guess they know how to work the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. But man, did they come off used car salesmen. I mean, they just, it just oozing from their pores with kind of a slick kind of a, let me sell you something kind of, vibe about them to me. And they just rubbed me the wrong way. And that's when I came across Dr. Barry, who is 180 degrees from that, you know. And I instantly just became more drawn to him and his style, and kind of went down the path that way. But man, I mean, there are so many vegetarian doctors out here. My dad, who is Seventh Day Adventist, not vegetarian, but Seventh Day Adventist, but eats very limited amounts of red meat, just because he has some convictions in that. Man, he's always sending me clips with these vegetarian and vegan doctors, and they have their folks that are swearing by it, and oh, I had this disease and that disease and it's all better now and I'm so much happier. And like I said, it's just it's for the average person, there's so many contrary opinions and thoughts. It's difficult, but you gotta follow your. And I tell my dad this, and I've this as well, and I've heard many other people say it. If you're going from a standard American diet to a whole food, vegetarian or vegan diet, that's an improvement. And you will see some benefits. But there's another level of improvement that you can go to, another level, which is, getting into the fatty ruminant meats and things of that nature. And you can take your health to another level.
uh, Seven-Day Adventists from Loma Linda who are vegetarian, vegan, they also live in very close knit communities. They go to church frequently and regularly. And community doesn't matter, doesn't have to be religious, but community is important. They don't smoke, they don't drink.
Yeah.
Most don't drink coffee. They don't, smoking and alcohol is completely frowned upon. So they have a very clean lifestyle, and therefore, in the epidemiological studies, it's a healthy bias on those studies. But do you know who lives about the same life expectancy is another religious group, the Mormons? They're very similar. They don't smoke, drink alcohol, drink. I don't even think they drink coffee as well. Uh, they live very clean lives. They go to church. They have close communities. The only difference to the Seventh Day Adventists is they eat. They all eat meat, and a lot of it is pork. Also, Hong Kong, one of the longest, if not the longest, in the past few years, life
Mhm.
expectancy. They
Yeah.
are the highest consumption of meat per capita in the world, and 50-60% of it is pork. I don't eat pork. I'm not proposing you do. I don't eat iguana, but You eat what
Yeah,
you eat
yeah.
what you want. The
No.
thing is, in Hong Kong, one of the longest life expectancy, highest meat consumption. So the blue zones have multiple big blue holes in it,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Oh, yeah.
a
I
lot
get
of.
that one. I get that one. You and I are both close to the Adventist, community, friends and family and such, and
But Rick,
so
how long have you been carnivore, Rick?
How long have I been carnivore? I started in 1983.
Okay. Oh,
I was 15
that's
years
uh,
old.
that's 40 plus years ago.
Although I did go plant based for 7 months in 1993. Big mistake.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Tell me what happened.
I I've had people telling me all the time that I'm going to die. I don't get
yeah,
enough fruits and vegetables. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to get cancer and all these other issues. And after Hurricane Andrew, I ate nothing but meat because, I eat different types of meat. I've eaten eggs and dairy and all that stuff, but all I ate was basically steak, beef, and a little bit of seafood from Andrew to the end of the year. And then my dad was into this health food all the time. He was always with the whole grains and the phytonutrients and the juicing. Every morning you hear the little juicer buzzing away
yeah.
and the green crap pouring out of it. And then cleaning that stupid thing and the tofu and the soy sauce and all the other crap and the seaweed. So I just got sick and tired of it. My dad constantly telling me, because one minute he'd be in a good mood, next minute he'd be in a bad mood. I guess it was from eating all those vegetables. And then the fact that I hate vegetables and they make me sick, beans make me violently ill. So I told my dad, all right, I'm going to
What
try.
happens with the beans?
I get bad diarrhea, gas, stomach. I get intestinal pains.
Well, everybody gets gas.
Well,
Beans.
for example, my dad was Cuban, and Miami's full of Cubans, and they all like
Black
rice and
beans.
beans.
Yeah,
Huh?
black beans. Black beans. Yeah.
Oh, and I hate beans. I think they're disgusting. And every time my parents would force me to eat those nasty things, because they said, well, the reason that you're skinny is that you don't like anything. You only want to eat meat. You're picky and all that. So yeah, I tried to go plant based in '93. I said in January of 1993, I'm going to eat plant based. I was still eating some eggs in the beginning and cheese, but then after a couple of months, it just left it all behind. And Dad was making me juice with like carrots and vegetables and fruits and all kinds of nasty stuff. It was hard to drink it because I wanted to throw up every time I smelled it. And every time I hear that sound of the juicer, it reminds me of a wood chipper. I'm thinking, what in the world is he doing with this nasty stuff? But I did try it. And then by that summer, I got a really bad flu, got really sick, and couldn't eat for like a week, lost weight, felt terrible. And after that, I said, you know what? I'm going back to the eggs. The first thing I ate was duck eggs from my front yard. Then I went to Winn-Dixie. I got some marked down meat, loaded up on beef. I was eating pork, chicken, and everything. And in about 2 weeks, I was back to normal. But I still had some problems, believe it or not. I got diarrhea occasionally. And then I got these stomach aches. Sometimes when I'd eat even the good food, I'd feel like a sharp pain. It was really pretty unpleasant. But after a few months, by the end of the year, it was back to normal. And I haven't gone back to plants since. Once in a while, I'll eat fruit if I have it in the yard and I have nothing else. But I can go months without a single piece of fruit or vegetable or anything. And I actually feel fine.
You listen. You just lost about 500 subscribers with that admission that you had plant based in 1993.
Well,
everybody's fantasy. I'm just telling you, man. You ate some fruit 5 years ago. Oh, there's another 500. They're going.
I'll tell you, I've done so many interviews. A lot of them have been deleted because some people deleted their YouTube channel. But it's been almost 3 years, and all my interviews are pretty much the same. If you watch them, I give my story. You can see, Dave Mack's channel is one of the earlier ones. Dr. Chafee, Dr. Baker, and you can see the story. And that's, I didn't do it to be healthy. I did it to get a heart attack. That was my goal.
Yeah, you're very authentic that way. Speaking authentic, Julia. Hello there, beloved. It's very good to see you. Brenda's here. I know since she can, when she follows the notice link, she can't comment. I don't know what's up with that. YouTube is against us. It's the vegans messing with our stream. Andy C77 says hello. Jersey Tom's in the building. Love that. Lambs, how we doing, brother? Good to see you. Kitchen Witches here. Good to see you here, beloved. Oh, there's our girl Lori. She's right on time. Glad you're here, beloved. Glad to see you.
I saw Laura in the comments. Why isn't she
Yes, my
here?
beautiful sister Laura is here. Love that. Oh, Jiffy is here. Nice to see you, beloved. Says running late tonight, but glad y'all. Yep, still out there on them tables. I know. Says she denies it, but she's cutting the rug on the table somewhere, and I'm sure. Retired Rick says my doctor told me too much misinformation on YouTube. Yeah, there's so much.
And it is the truth.
Yes, just like we have no great deal of long-term data that is beneficial. Yes, I'm with you on that.
There is no long-term data that the other opposite side of the spectrum is beneficial either. You have to understand that all epidemiological data is faulty. So
yes, Pete says, now that I've come to learn that what I knew and felt all along, that meat, eggs, butter, seafood were the best for me, vegetables are poison, I've come back home to carnivore. I am with you on the favorites there. I haven't quite got to the poison vegetable thing yet. You guys are going to have to drag me kicking and screaming to that. But I don't have much use for them. But a lot of people do. Cranky says, I got in my necessary fiber this evening. Thanks for the information, Dr. Nelson. I got tired of sprouted bread, so I had refried beans today. Now, is that a April Fool's joke, or were you really talking about fiber at some point with someone? I'm guessing that was a April Fool's joke. But Doc Nelson, you're pretty easygoing when it comes to that stuff. You're not going to beat anybody up about having a little fiber, are you?
You like to listen to Dr. Westman. He says this all the time. You can be healthy in many ways.
Yeah.
But I believe the closer you are to very low carbohydrate or no carbohydrates, basically plants, that has been my experience. Eliminating, reversing diabetes is like up there. Is the worst metabolic disease you can have. There are plenty of them. So
Conor Keith says, I ate a salad a couple of weeks ago, got sick, and threw it up 2 hours later.
I couldn't even get it down.
I don't know what was in the salad there, but
salad's disgusting.
Lambs has a question. It says, I would like the doc's opinion on lipolysis versus glycolysis. I start to lean towards Dr. Kiltz's side of our cells solely using fatty acids for ATP production. This is the portion of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where you might learn something for those who might want to go to the bathroom or something. Lambs has to bring our show to a screeching halt with a scientific question. But that's all right. We love him. He's part of the family. Go ahead, Doctor.
Not here for that. I'm happy to answer, but what happens is if you study the Krebs cycle and the glycolysis in the cytoplasm of the cell and what goes on in the mitochondrial matrix on the mitochondria, you end up producing more ATP with the fat. The glucose in the cytoplasm, you get a couple of molecules of pyruvate that then go into the mitochondria to be processed. And the key molecule is acetyl-CoA. That's what you actually get through in the Krebs cycle and you burn it, you actually oxidize, uh, is the proper term, and you get a bunch of energy. So it's nuance on the explanations, and uh,
Yes, I have no idea what you just said, but it sounded fantastic and professional, Doc, and that's why we have you here because you know things. I'm just a dummy. I do a little goofy show here and try to make people laugh and smile, and occasionally learn a little bit of something. Keto Karen says hi. Well, hi back to you, beloved. Good to see you here. Glad you're here with us, hanging out. I appreciate you. See if we got anybody else. Sure. Keto Karen says, I never believed the food pyramid, even as a kid. She was a genius. She was probably one of those folks that was in the back doing the quadratic formula when she was in kindergarten. They couldn't fool you. You are Keto Karen. I love that. Yeah, it kind of, it's funny that you should mention that because I was going to say something before. When I get into conversations with, vegetarian and vegetarian friendly kind of folks, I have to remind them that their way of eating is the new. My way of eating is old. I said, 50 years ago, there was no vegan butter. There was no vegan mayonnaise. There was, there were some imitation meats. There have always been, I'm in my 50s. I remember imitation meats when I was a kid, but nothing like today. I mean, you had
and those imitation meat they haven't been around more than just about 100 years.
Yeah, I mean, you had to go to special stores to get most of it. You couldn't just walk into any grocery store and get a lot of it. Maybe a couple of things.
Oka
I
burger.
remind them, I'm like, listen, the way you're eating is what's new. The way we eat is not new. We're eating like people ate 100 years ago. I mean, if you look at the cause of death 100 years ago in 1910, 1900, it was diphtheria and tuberculosis and pneumonia. Those are the top 3 killers of people in 1900. By 1950, it was heart disease and cancer and stroke. And what changed in that 50-year period? It was the
And
diets.
car accidents, by the way.
Yeah. Not in 1900. I don't know if there's horse and buggy accidents.
Exactly. But since then, in the past 100 years, we've gotten airplanes and cars.
Yeah.
And in particular, cars, there's a lot of accidents.
Yeah, but if you can look at the cause of death in 1900, more people died of pneumonia, and I think as a percentage in 1900 than died of heart disease, cancer, and Alzheimer's all put together. I mean, it was crazy how few people died of heart attack and stroke and heart disease in 1900. It just wasn't a lot of people, and literally in a 50-year span, it went upside down. It's crazy. So that's what I always hit them with that. I always hit them with, what did people do before vegan everything? Because that stuff is new. Let's see here. Do we have any more?
Rick, are you a baseball fan?
No, I don't watch any sports.
Oh, okay. It's just the Miami Marlins beat the New York Mets tonight.
That's pretty rare they win anything.
I'm a Mets fan.
They replaced the Orange Bowl with that stupid Marlins Stadium. It looks like a giant turtle.
Haven't been inside, but I've been outside a couple of times.
Yeah, I haven't been inside either. I don't know. I hate Miami. It gets worse every day. It never gets better.
DS111 says, I would replace mayonnaise with cream cheese. If you're not a folks that has a problem with dairy, and depends on your carb, how low you like to have your carbs too. Cream cheese has significantly more carbohydrates than mayonnaise. Would you second that motion there, Doc V?
It's I guess it's low carby enough, but in general, hard cheeses are better than soft cheeses.
I used to eat
make
a lot
mayonnaise. I've never done it. You can make mayonnaise with butter.
Lard.
Yeah, you make it with any
Lard.
oil. Yeah, I used to eat cream cheese very early in my ketogenic life. I would snack on it and that sort of stuff, and it had like 6 to 8 carbs per serving or something like that. Not very
And
much,
if
but
you can make it with avocado oil and olive oil as well.
Charlie's here. Darth Carnivore. May the fat be with you. Good to see you, man. Arg, my man. Jans is here. Everybody's favorite carnivore pirates in the building here. Mayonnaise is made with seed oil, not the brand of mayonnaise that I buy. Chosen Foods has a wonderful 100% avocado oil mayonnaise that I use virtually every day.
The
Check it
typical
out.
mayonnaise is soybean oil.
Yes. Or could and then it's funny. I learned this the hard way. Again, early in my ketogenic life, I bought some mayonnaise that says made with olive oil. And of course, they put one little eyedropper's worth of olive oil in and it's got canola and soybean and whatever. But Chosen Foods is 100% avocado oil mayonnaise. It's delicious. I eat it all the time. I like it very much. And but yeah, everybody's different. Yeah, I know what you mean with that DS111. I enjoy my butter mayo. Yes, I know a lot of people that make that stuff. Yeah, look, not your man. I I'm very low maintenance when it comes to the cooking and that sort of stuff. Don't It's got to be simple and easy. I watched I think I watched two crazy ketos making mayonnaise one day on their they had a and they were in there with an immersion blender and they were and then, Joe was on there giving now you have to do it this slow and you have to because if you don't and I after 30 seconds I knew that's I don't that'll never happen in my kitchen. The fact
By
that he
the
had
way,
an immersion blender.
do you watch them regularly?
I used to. I have not lately. I need to catch up with they're the coolest people
Have
and I
you
love
watched
the
them after they moved? Because they moved from
yeah
from
from
South
Florida.
Florida to Arcadia,
No, I have
and
not. And
they
then Lori
they
would probably want to.
they
Yeah,
move it. They're in a farm. They have animals.
yes. Rachel probably choked me. She probably wants to choke me. I have not checked in. When I see her, I may have to take off running. Yes, I have not checked in with them, but I love them to death, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes life gets away from you, but no, I'm gonna probably try maybe later in the week to catch up with them. Polish Mike says I don't use sauces. Meat swimming on the plate and animal fats is all I need. Oh, there you go. Yes, Charlie says Chosen Foods is one of the few brands of avocado oil that's not cut with anything, according to an expose a while back. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the ingredients, it only has like 3 ingredients. I mean, it's super clean. It's like eggs, vinegar, avocado oil. You know, it's very clean, and they have a lot of they have other products too. The I think them and Primal Kitchen is another brand that some people like. That's pretty clean with their ingredients.
I think I have some Primal Kitchen avocado mayonnaise in the
Yeah,
refrigerator.
yeah. Primal Kitchen is not the easiest to find. They sell chosen that chosen mayonnaise
I bought it
everywhere.
in Walmart.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I don't go to Walmart that much, but like Winn-Dixie and Publix, they don't have a lot of, and that's and Costco, they don't have a lot of. Those are the 3 places I get most of my stuff from, and they don't have a large selection. If you go to their website, they have a ton of products, but
You know that Winn-Dixie was bought over a few years ago by Aldi,
all these, yeah,
and
I
my
heard about
local Winn-Dixie was gutted out and it's been remodeled into
that.
an Aldi's.
Well, I tell you what, they will hurt my feelings if they going too crazy down here with all these. Maybe it's on the plans to do it, but Winn Dixie is the best place for meat
Yeah,
in
but
Jacksonville.
Aldi's owns Winn-Dixie already a few
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
And
yeah. I don't know.
Fresco y Más, the Spanish, that's part of the of Aldi's as well.
No,
Yeah,
Aldi didn't buy them. Now Aldi didn't buy the Fresco y Mas. They're still with the Southeastern Grocers.
mm,
Okay, well, my local Fresco y Más was Winn Dixie, and so Winn Dixie owned them,
Right.
and Aldi bought it because I was talking to a manager from Winn Dixie, and they were trying to sell it though, the Fresquimas ones, the units that were Fresquimas that were trying to sell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ones here are still owned by that Southeastern Grocers, but the Winn Dixie over here is owned by Aldi, but they haven't changed it from a Winn Dixie yet.
well, I've been in some Aldis and I don't like them. If they change up a bunch of stuff on Winn Dixie here, they'll lose a customer out of me. Of course, they probably wouldn't be upset about that because I only go in there and beat them to death every time they have a sale on meat. So they probably they probably will be. They probably won't miss me at all. They're like, yeah, the guy only comes in here, when we have an advertised sale and takes every slab of meat off the rack. Then everybody else comes in and complains the rest of the day. That's all the meat is gone.
I
But,
I look forward to the day when I don't have to go to any grocery store. I can just buy my whole cow and process it myself in my own yard.
yeah, I've looked into some of that, man. But I'm telling you, at least down here, the lowest I've found, I can really only do a quarter cow. I really don't have room for too much more than that.
Well,
But
you got to buy the whole cow to put it on the trailer. How are you going to get a quarter cow?
well, they do, and they split it up, and
Yeah, no, but he's talking
more
about
people can buy it.
owning the cow and then
Yeah.
processing and all that.
Yes. I know what it means. I'm talking about if getting like a local farmer. Yeah, I cannot have a cow in my yard where I where I live. I don't even think I can have a goat in my yard where I live.
If you ever do
I
that,
mean,
Rick, remember,
I
get
mean,
in
my
touch with
backyard,
me.
my backyard is big enough for one, but yeah, my neighbors would, yeah, they report me in 15 minutes.
My friends upstate and in other states, they routinely buy the whole animal. Usually what they'll do, they'll get old dairy cows for cheap, and then they'll fatten them up with fruit and other scraps, and then slaughter and turn into meat. It's not the most tender meat, but it's flavorful and it's cheap.
Well, yeah, and I have some friends in Ohio that do that. They go in together, like and buy a whole cow, and then they divide it up because again, it's a lot of meat. Most people don't. I don't know how much cubic space you need in a freezer to freeze it, but you got to have to get a whole cow. You have to have a pretty big freezer, like a
I want to get one of those restaurant coolers, the ones that
yeah.
walk in, and then that way I'll have that. It'll be handy.
Yeah, like carnivore, like Hoosier Carnivore has in his background, a big meat
I like
locker.
that, but in real life, you can
But
get them cheap.
go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
You can get them cheap when a restaurant closes. I've seen these things for like $100 or less. You just get it on an auction and haul it off. My friend got one for his restaurant. We moved it. It was cheap. So, once I move to the country and I have a few acres, I have some grazing ground, then I got to find out who's got produce and leftovers and scraps. And then when I get my cows, I'll bring them over and feed them for a while. It's the same thing I do with the ducks, just on a bigger scale. You know how I am.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot bigger killing field. I'm gonna tell you. It's gonna be acres of killing field.
Well, that's
Good night,
it.
Brenda. Brenda says she must sleep. We'll catch the replay. Good night, beloved. Glad you were able to hang out with us for a little bit. But what I was getting at was the cheapest that I found, and I don't know if you looked into it, Dr. Nelson. You're not too far from me. Is to about $12.50 a pound. Have you?
Yeah, no, I haven't. It seems in other states there are better prices when you buy a quarter, half, or a full cow. The closest thing, you're right, $10 to $12 at my closest place, which I think is a beef farm in Port Orange. That's I've heard of people, even in California. I think Christy from Eating Wellness bought for less than $5 a pound.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
great because here's the thing. I looked into it around here, 2 or 3 different places. You can get a quarter, half, whatever. It's mostly ground beef. You get a few steaks and a little this, a little of that, but probably half of it's ground beef. And I'm like, I can get ground beef for a lot less than $12 a pound. You know, I mean, so and I know it's farm raised and all that, grass fed, and that's great. But I don't. Again, that's 4 times what I normally pay. So I don't know if it's 4 times better. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Laura says, Russ, we need some Reverend. The Reverend is coming. There will be a Reverend soon. I promise you. Listen, I don't break promises to my sister Laura because I'm afraid of her. So if I promise her something, it will happen. Yeah, because she got guns and she's a lot of people don't. She's really very mean. People
And
don't get
she
to see
knows
that
how to
side
use a knife and process
of it.
the parts to
Yes, yes.
disappear.
Yes, the Reverends. I'm in the lab working on that. There will definitely be a Reverend sighting uh, soon. Polish Mike says some influencers state the beef tallow is bad for us because it's been heated, but when butter is used for cooking, it gets rancid faster than tallow. What's the verdict then? I'd say both are just fine, but let's talk to people that know a lot more about that sort of thing.
Go ahead, Rick.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to animal fat, there's nothing better than beef tallow. Whenever you want to make a true, delicious heart attack chicken or turkey, it's the best one. And I can prove it because if you fry with beef tallow, you can reuse it more times than any other animal fat. I mean, lard, you can reuse it depending on how much you cook, 5, 6, 7 times. But you can use beef tallow almost double that because it's just so much more stable. There's more saturated fats. It doesn't go bad. I mean, I've had that stuff in the refrigerator for a year and it's still fine. You can leave it on the countertop if your house is not that hot, as long as there's no water in it. But butter, it goes bad pretty quick.
Well, now that's interesting. You should say that because, and I can vouch. And this is it's a crazy thing, but it's 100% true. I scrambled some eggs. What is today? Tuesday, Sunday. I scrambled some eggs for the first time this year on Sunday. Okay. Long story behind that, but I said, you know what? I hadn't had any scrambled eggs in a while, and I have some beef. I have a little teapot. It looks like a teapot on my stove, but it's beef tallow that I've been saving, and it's been
A grease
at
bucket.
yes, it looks like a teapot, but it's got a strainer in the top of it, and and it's cute little thing. And I was saving my beef tallow for a while, and I'm telling you, that has been in there, and I have not put it in the fridge. It has been sitting out there in that teapot on my stove for at least 6 months, at least. And I kind of had a second thought about using some of it because I'm like, man, this has been on it for 6 months. So of course I opened up the lid and took a whiff, just to make
Now,
sure.
what do you have in there?
Beef tallow. I've been saving like all my beef fat from ground beef, anything I make, and Laura, shout out to my sister Laura. She's the one that got me started doing that. And it's been at least, I'd say I've been saving it since probably Halloween last year. And I haven't put it in the fridge. It just sat right out there. And so I opened it up, took a whiff of it, didn't smell anything. And of course it was solid, So I took my spatula, took out a big hunk, threw it in the skillet, heated it up, scrambled up those eggs and knocked them down. And and that is the truth. Now, to ask the thing about your butter, I have a stick of butter that I have in a butter dish on my counter right next to my stove. It's been there for probably at least 2 or 3 months as well. And I use it for different things, but I make my waffle bread and I'll slam a little butter on that sometimes. Um, and I've never had it go bad. I've never had a stick of butter go bad on me. And I've had butter out on it. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to have that. She used to have a fancy stainless steel, kind of butter dish, and there was always butter in that thing.
I keep my butter in the refrigerator, but we take the stick of butter, one stick at a time, to a butter dish. That's always outside. It never goes bad.
Yeah.
The problem with that, if there's condensation and there's water, that's gonna go bad. Now,
Yeah.
we use it frequently, so there's a new stick there. At least
Yeah.
maybe once every 1 or 2 weeks. But I use clarified butter, ghee. I make it myself, and that stays on the counter for months. Okay, and I have beef tallow. The beef tallow is the best. It lasts longer, doesn't go bad, really doesn't go rancid. It's never gone rancid on me. And basically, you can taste when it goes rancid, or you can smell it. It's just there's a different smell and a different taste on any oil or fat that goes rancid.
Yeah.
Most of the other oils, industrially processed, they at some point they go rancid. The same if you eat peanuts or any other nuts, you can smell them, when they are rancid as well. So yeah, I agree, but it's not only based on the PUFAs, because I'm looking here at a table, and beef tallow has 3.1% uh, PUFAs, butter 3.4%, and ghee is about 4%. As far as the coconut oil is only 1.9%. All these fats have some PUFAs and unsaturated fat to different degrees. 50% almost of butter and tallow is saturated fat. Coconut is over 90% saturated fat.
Gotcha.
And by the way, this is from Keto is Carnivore.
Yeah, I love that.
That book in our website, and we're gonna have a course, a live guided course based on that. It's sort of a starter guide.
I love that. Yeah, be sure to come out and promote it. We'll make sure as many people as possible.
I'm sorry?
I just joined your group, your Kilts group.
Oh, thank you.
Love that.
I sent you a message on the private chat, Rick.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Just click on it.
Okay.
Josephine says, howdy. Hello there, beloved. Good to see you. Bruce is here making a late appearance. I love that. Well, there's an old friend. Good to see you, brother. The Carnivore Champion is here. Bill Cook says, hi all. Hashtag iguana.
Oh, yeah.
We got the late night Mopar folks coming on here. Let's see here. Lamb says, he's talking to Polish Mike there. Let's see here. Yes, I like the beef tallow. I just don't fry stuff very much, and I don't deep fry very much. I air fry a lot. So it's funny because I had a couple of skillets out on my stove, and I put them away. I don't know how long ago. So let's see what we got here. Yeah. more April Fool's stuff there.
That's right.
I've been frying my eggs and beef tallow every morning. The flavor is amazing. Yeah, like I said, I used to do that too. But like I said, this is the last Sunday was the first time literally this year in 2025 that I have scrambled an egg. I just don't fry very much. A lot of like I said, a lot of air frying. So I may get back to that. I might, get back to the rotation there, and deep frying. Man, see that's the heart attack frying. Rick is the king of that. That's just getting into a little too much work. Now I might pan fry something. I might throw a little grease in there and fry. I guess the opposite of deep frying would be shallow frying. So I might shallow fry some things, but I don't eat a ton of fried stuff across the board other than air fried. Let's see here. Bill says Dr. Kill says tallow is cooked, so changes molecules are now not so good.
Well,
I don't
tallow
know.
is rendered beef fat. So it
Yeah.
is rendered. To render it, you need to heat it. You don't have to heat it to very high degrees. So, but yes, you are heating the fat. It's rendered fat. Are you denaturing some of it? Yes. Uh, Dr. Kills advocates about. He uses a little bit tallow sometimes, but he advocates eating raw fat.
Yeah, I love that. Julian says I like to use ghee instead of butter.
Yeah, I use ghee as well. It, it's also, listen, carnivore grease or keto grease. It's a real thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's okay to cook, but after you have to clean up, and so ghee is a little bit cleaner for me than tallow. But
Yes.
you know,
I disagree with that because everybody talks about the mess of tallow and lard. I don't have a mess. I mean, cleanup is easy. It's the vegetable oils that wreck the kitchen. When I used to cook that stuff for my mom, it would stick to everything. It was like paint. It was hard to clean. I mean, the dirt was just terrible. But when you cook with beef tallow, now, one thing that I'll tell you from my experience, if you pan fry, you will splatter everywhere. But if you
yeah,
deep fry,
I noticed that you use deeper, pots for doing
mhm,
that, and that
right.
that certainly saves. I use one of those platter screens when I'm using a pan. Still, it's a little bit messy, but that's okay.
Well, the thing is, I use the washing soda to clean the kitchen. It's basically like baking soda, and you sprinkle it on there, put a little water, and rub it with a sponge. It turns all the animal fats into soap, and it washes your kitchen counter and the wall and the hood and everything real easy. And unlike the seed oils, it doesn't rust the metal, so it's not bad. I'm a big fan of animal fats, and I'm not afraid to fry on the stove. I don't
What
use an air fryer.
What do you use for cleaning?
I used washing soda, Arm& Hammer washing soda. It's
Okay.
basically sodium carbonate. And then what you do,
With duck feathers. It's got duck feathers in it. Duck feathers. You just squish.
well, I just got through making my own soap, but I had problems with my video. I got to edit it. But I actually burned a bunch of stuff from my yard. I had coconuts and I had branches and I had demolition wood and everything. And I burned it all up in the barbecue pit. I got over a gallon of ashes and I put water through it and I made potassium hydroxide. And then I used the lard and the tallow that I cook with that's been used because it's partially broken down. It's got like a mix of saturated, unsaturated fats. I turned that into soap and I put some coconut in there. Yes, I put plant material in there. I put some other, what do you call it, sapodilla and a couple other things in there. Stirred it up, made my own soap. It's the way I like it. It doesn't have a scent. It smells a little bit fruity, but not too bad. And that's what I use to wash myself with. So I don't know. For me, it works really well.
Love that. Jeffrey says good night. Good night, Jeff. Just for the record, I never dance on tables. I'm a 62-year-old carnivore heart failure survivor. They gave me 5 years in 2015, and by the grace of God, I'm still here. That is wonderful. And nobody is happier that you're here than me. And I'm just joking with you, beloved. I'm sure you never danced on tables.
How about you, Ross? Have you ever danced on tables?
Man, I've danced everywhere you can dance, brother. I was in them. Listen, hey, when I was young and in my prime, I used to do it all the time.
But
I
you
got
got there.
Yes, it's just jokes. Nobody believes anything I say, Jiffy. So you don't have to worry about anybody having a bad impression of you because people know that I am nuttier than a Stuckey's pecan log. So Don't feel bad. I hope I didn't offend you, beloved. I never intentionally. I offend many. Never intentionally.
Entertainment. I got a question for everybody. Which of these 3 microphones do you like the best?
The one came
I like.
from
Listen, I like the middle one.
Yeah, that's my favorite, the Shure 55S.
Yes,
This is the Shure. What is it? 565, and this I don't know what brand it is, but it's some kind of condenser mic. But I've used all 3 when I've been online. This is my favorite. I found it. It was in storage for years, and I thought I had got rid of it, but I actually found it last week. So,
yes, we talked about that. I thought you said it was signed by Walter Cronkite. You have an autograph. Yes, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, probably Johnny Carson also use one of those.
Well, it's ironic because every time I see somebody put like live stream and they show a picture of a microphone, it's always one of these Shure 55S's. So I kept seeing that. I saw it a lot on Carrie's channel. I'm thinking, what's that one?
My daughter gave it to me for Christmas, last Christmas. It's
that's an unsure.
I find it says.
Yeah. So you got XLR and USB.
Yes, that's a not sure. You've got a sure. He's got a not sure.
All mine are XLR. I don't have USB mics.
Yes, I have a confused microphone. You have Shures and confused. There you go. You were telling about that last week. You were patching calls in and.
Oh yeah, I did it. But only thing is, my phone handset, the microphone is bad on that. I made an upgrade, so the next call in, it should sound better. But Thomas, he was on the phone for at least 3 hours, maybe close to 4 hours. It was a long one.
I saw one of those, Rick, and it sounded okay for a phone call.
Well, that's true. But it's hooked into this old mixer. When I was first on YouTube in 2007, we didn't have lives. I think the maximum video was 12 minutes. So what I did, I used to record those and then upload them. Of course, YouTube deleted all my videos, but I do have my cassettes if I ever get a camera for it. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He wanted to see the videos I had of my wood-powered truck. If those cassettes are still good, I'm going to upload them. And you can see how I turned a 1969 D300 pickup truck into a wood-powered truck. And I went all the way to Iowa and back with that thing. It was a great series of videos. I don't know why they deleted it.
Papa Carnivore says, I had a terrible stomach virus for 2 days. Sorry to hear that, brother. Yeah, were you eating that raw meat with Dr. Kiltz? Were you in there? I'm just saying.
I had I had diarrhea for 3 days last week because there was a flu going around and I got it last Tuesday. And then Wednesday to Friday, I just had diarrhea and then I finally got better.
Yeah. Did the iguanas have it too? Were they out there? Yeah, going through the swamp out there?
I haven't eaten iguana in a while.
Maybe that's part of the problem. Your microbiome is all messed up.
I don't know. I may have mentioned this before, but 40 years ago, we left Puerto Rico, and there was like no iguana to be found anywhere, right? It was rare to see a smaller, like a 8-inch iguana might be the largest thing you saw. Now they are endemic. I mean, it's like everywhere. Initially they were protected, and now the government says just kill them and eat them.
Listen, all you got to do is flash an iguana signal to the northern sky, and you will see like a bolt of light, a white van, like a bolt of light come out of the sky, and he will save you. I'm just telling you, the I team. You heard of the A team? He's the part of the I team. Yeah.
You'll see the iguana mobile.
My neighborhood was so full of iguanas. They were getting run over. They were everywhere. Everybody was complaining about them. And now you can't even find one. I've been riding my bike. There are no iguanas anywhere. I can't believe that.
Are you responsible for that?
I must be. Because the neighborhood down the street is still full of iguanas. I had no idea that eating iguanas would do so much to get rid of them.
He's got a mountain of iguana bones in the back of the killing fields back in there.
Oh, I burned a ton of them when I was burning all my wood because I burned the bones to increase my soap output.
Just get a couple from somewhere else and a male female couple type variety, and just let them. Just don't need those two.
Yeah. Feral Grandma says, hello there, beloved. Glad to see you. Father of United Carnivores with us. Good to see you, brother. Glad that you are here. And Keto Karen says, I fry eggs and bacon fat when I have it. I used to say bacon fat, but I got off of bacon. My father was very happy with me about that because he does not eat pork or believe in that. So he was very happy when I made that announcement. But I used to save bacon grease. I had so much, it lasted me for probably 8 or 10 months before I ran out. And then I started saving my beef fat. And what I did, which is easier, because Laura, I've done it both ways. But like if I make oxtails or roast or different things like that, I will take the pot and I'll put it in the refrigerator, and then it makes that thick white layer at the top, and I just scrape that out and melt it down and put it in my little teapot. Because the rest underneath gets kind of like Jello or whatever. Saves me having to pick the meat out and boil it and all that stuff. But let's see here. I'm gonna start frying stuff just so I can use my beef tallow. How about that?
Quack it up.
I stopped using my air fryer because the finish started to wear out. Now I use cast iron pan fry everything. Much better sear on the meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know people who do that. Again, you're a much better cook than me, and you probably like to cook, which is something that I do not enjoy at all. Bruce says, yes, I'm not allowed to deep fry in the house. Yeah, he was telling us about that. His wife said that she would take that frying pan and whack him upside the head with it if he did that. So Josephine says, I'll try next to deep pot fry. Yes. Yeah, I will have you know, Rick, I even bought, and I'm going to maybe take a picture of it and send it to you. I bought a big, deep pot just to deep fry in it, and I'm trying to think if I might have used it one time. So you inspired me. I bought a deep pot.
That's good.
Jenna says, I use a spatter screen to pan fry. Cleaning is easy peasy. Laura says, I deep fry in the garage an old turkey fire base. Bearskin, crappies, and tallow. Oh, I love that. Let's see here. We're getting near the end of the line here. Carnivore Muscle, good to see you, brother, since present. Can't sleep. Been there, done that. Let's see here. Laura loves the middle microphone. Yes, it's everybody's favorite. It's like the old Temptations microphones, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
That's my favorite too.
Or the James Brown, like the James Brown mic when he was doing all the tricks, hit me. Get on the good foot. So yeah, that's a James Brown special there. Let's see here. I think yes. Carnivore Key says I use the Shure 56 for music.
Good choice.
Yes, we were talking microphones a little bit. Carnivore Key says, is it bad to cook with burnt butter?
My answer would be yes.
Yeah. My man must be on hard times. Butter's not that expensive, brother. You can get you some fresh butter now. I believe you can. We're going to get a GoFundMe for my man Keith so he can get him some fresh butter. He doesn't have to cook in that burnt butter anymore. We're going to don't eat charcoal. Terry Sue, hello there, beloved. Good to see you. Anybody else? I think, yes. Yes, Feral Grandma says Tom. Yes, Tom is going to be. He was telling you about that last time there. We wish him the best. He is definitely part of the family there. And who knows? If I'm invited, I may even come to one of those live streams and act a fool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, family, we have once again fulfilled our contractual obligations for the week. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us and watching. And we want to thank the good Dr. Nelson for spending the hour with us. He has so many more important things to do, but he has compassion for a couple of slugs like me and Rick, man. He's just got a big heart. He's got a big heart. He lowered his standards to come down here and hang out with me and my favorite YouTube fellow clown, Mr. Arthur Robar. So, as always, folks, we hope you had a great time. Hope you got a couple of laughs tonight. And we will be back here with my sister Laura Russell and whoever else joins us here on the Cookout, Keto Cookout. Until then, keep your carbs low, your proteins and your fats high. And we will see you on the next one.
Keep on